All right, we should be live. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. If you haven't already, subscribe. We like to see that number get closer and closer to 2,000. It's not a huge number in the grand scheme of what we're doing, but it is a number that can go up nonetheless. Hopefully everybody's had a good week. It is Thursday, so that is my Friday. Yeah. No telling when you're actually watching this VOD. I'll try to get it up in a reasonable amount of time, though. Chan Solo, Chinny D, hello. How are you guys doing? Oh, let me go shut off the phone. I don't know if anybody watches the Sean Ryan show. Former Navy SEAL interviews former special operators, police doing stuff in Mexico and blah blah blah. Really good interviews. Enjoy them. Oh yeah, the coffee is still nice and hot. I just made it. Came down here, ran it right up to the line so that it would be warm. 4,300 followers. And that's wonderful, Twitch. But where are you? Where are they? Man. It is coming together. So what am I going to do today? Hey, BDC Retro. Did I already say that? Where I have deja vu a lot doing this. We just got some new art in for the character stuff. We just changed the character art pipeline a fair bit, and so that made all of our people in town here naked. And today I've been running around unnaked-ing them, or I guess dressing them would be the better way to say that. So time set 6 a.m. Gives a full day of dressing. There's some quirks with it in terms of applying different lerps. I don't know what the actual definition of like a lerp. We've got these gradients, like these gradient textures, I guess, that are working in the system. And the way I understand it, I'm going to give you the layman's version of this. So we've got these gradients, different color gradients that we can then apply to the grayscale texture to get different variations on the armor and stuff. And sometimes they just don't do anything. But I think that's more maybe user error or us still finding the best way to make things intercompatible. There's a better term than that I was trying to think of. I can't think of it. Hey, Belfaster, MMO Pug. Interoperable. That's Zukin's face that he was doing. The skins and facial hair and all that stuff are still being worked on, but you can start to see, even with like I've accidentally blacked out this texture. It's not supposed to look like that. You can see there it still looks pretty dope. So we'll be adding some textures today to try to wrap up the naked folks. And then what else we're gonna do? May run through the remaining steps of the rogue quest. And we'll figure some more stuff out. If I'm feeling randy, I may been having ideas for a little base pop in one area of town. I may do that. I've got my to-do list that I can also open and get some stuff knocked out. But it's nice seeing colors and stuff come online again, and the new character stuff start to come together. It's all being iterated on. So there's still more like refinement and versions and stuff happening, but that's happening pretty quick. And then later on, I'll show you guys some behind the scenes, some faces and stuff that we've been working on that you'll get a sneak peek before the update, before they get in game. So, do we have a Conan the Barbarian style character yet? They're supposed to be mostly naked. I think the Beastmaster's aesthetic is probably the closest thing to that. Yeah, so you can see here, that's not what it's supposed to look like. I wonder why it's doing that. Let me try this. Oh, I think I know why. I told you it was user error. First of all, I've got the feeling there's some case sensitivity going on here in the database. Also, it doesn't help when I just point it to something that doesn't exist. So let's reload. All of the reloading, for whatever reason, it really, it jacks my frame rate. So that's something I'll have to look at with Ollie. I have to get with the art guys, because we've also got, we're a little limited on color options at the moment. And I also wonder how some of the color options work with the grayscale, right? So this purple tunic that he's wearing under his breastplate is actually supposed to be blue. And I think if I were to apply that to like the cloth shirt that we have, it would actually look blue. Matter of fact, do I have one in my possession? Thought I had one in my possession. But then when you apply it to, I'm thinking what's happening is if you apply it to the darker grayscale. No, this isn't a blue one. So on if I were to go in and look at these, I've got the feeling that the base, depending on what the base is, then we're landing in pretty different spots in terms of the like the saturation or whatever. In this case, I would guess that's even the hue. Though I haven't looked. This may actually be a purple robe. Whereas I think, well, I know in data I made this shirt blue, but it's purple. But it's all good. At least he's not naked anymore, and then later on we can put in more requests for colors and stuff. It's funny, I still like, this is from the old recoloring of Marie's stuff, this leg panel. And it holds up in this context really well. It's sharp. Very crisp in its appearance. Yeah, so it's coming together. So what's up with you guys? Did I say hey to you already, John? Apologies if not. The trainees need some clothes. So let's do something with them. Nah, I big leagued you and talked about my work. I just ignored you. Sorry. Hey, Sovereign. Zoidberg said, working, dadding, hockey, gardening. Nice. About to get to be garden time here as well. Weather's still a bit shit, but it's getting there. Got my little seedlings sprouting over under the lamp, so excited about that. So let's look up steel talons. Trainees, great. So to just sort of expedite things, what I'm doing is I'm in this database looking at the target. So in this case, the Steel Talons trainees are the folks that want to clothe. And then what I'll do is I'll go in this other side here. I will grab somebody that looks right. So in this case, we'll who do we want to hit? Hey, Brown Butcher. And we could do a mix. We could have like start with the merchant look. So it's like these pants and stuff that you see over here. And I mean, I'm just kind of throwing shit together right now. It's not, you know, when the team sees it, if they're like, that's a goofy outfit or whatever, then we'll change it. Nick made a nice checklist for that so that we can track all that down and basically see, did they have a first pass? Is it approved? That type of stuff. Brown Butcher said Eminem is coming up more and more, and basically every EQ stream I visit, people are getting hyped. That's awesome to hear. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Does QIA guys have all the answers? Yep. Some of them are pretty damn good. Ignore the whited outs, you know, the lack of people and stuff in the faces. Faces are still coming online, but the ones that we're looking at behind the scenes are pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Random goofy looks on some NPCs will make it more immersive. Yeah, don't worry. The approach that we take to making content means that there's always going to be oddball shit going on, which honestly, it's the way my brain works anyways. But when we were talking about development on the project earlier, I was like, let's design our systems in a way where, and our tools where things just don't feel too systemic. Like, we don't want you to feel like we just generated a bunch of shit. We're making all this stuff. So there's going to be weird, goofy stuff and bugs and imbalances and have been shown off new zones or dungeons. Nope, not really. Zoidberg, you've seen Wormsbane, right? That's been our primary focus. We're gonna start on a new dungeon soonish. I'm gonna have a very different vibe, but we haven't started on that yet. Brown Butcher asks, any rough idea on Dave for stress tests? Want to try and block off time for it. We have a very precise understanding now of when we're going to do stress test. It's going to be a little bit later than we originally promised, but we'll post information detailing when. It should give everybody plenty of time to prepare for it, get hyped, and it's going to allow us to tackle it in a very, very specific, hopefully, manner and have it be the best possible stress test. So that information will be coming out soon. We just shared that information with friends and family. And then Excuse me. Then we'll be updating the community soon. But we know the exact weekend that we want to do it and all of that. So, hey, Rev Chumley. All right. So this guy, we're gonna put this guy's pants on these people. Good morning, Isan. Yeah, I like to listen to podcasts and stuff while I'm doing the dishes and all of that. All right, so let's get these guys. Get these guys some pants. Let's see if this is the right slot. Any good podcast suggestions? You're on a dry spell lately. What are you into, Zoidberg? I could tell you the stuff I listen to, but I don't know that a lot of you and I share the same interests outside of Eminem, to be honest. I forgot I've got to kind of double click that button every once in a while. All right. That puts them in some blue pants. Cool. We got blue pants now. The women and the gnomes are still walking around pretty naked, but Zoidberg said, I generally listen to market news, history, space, science, sport. Not really a podcast, but when you listen to market news, have you heard of the Maverick of Wall Street? He's got an interesting take and style. Hardcore history is good. That's a good suggestion, Belfaster. I'm in here just cleaning up random data in the DB. Jeez. Let's see. Let me pick up a different... All right. Yeah, I like Jocko Willink's podcast. I like Sean Ryan's podcast. Listen to a fair bit of that. Jack Carr's got a podcast or two. All three of those. Jocko's varies and deals with some leadership and fitness and stuff like that, but also a lot of just kind of military stuff. All three are in the military vein. I like it just because it's interesting to hear people's stories, kind of how they came up, what they had to go through to accomplish certain things. Find that fun to listen to. Inspiring, if you will. Let me look and see. Do we have some other boots we can play around with? I think we do. Got some of these other plate boots that I haven't messed with at all. We could try them out. Well, I mean, the plate 4 boots that the guards are wearing aren't bad for these guys. I mean, they're good, but they're not bad for this. You want something light and funny? I like the Doughboys podcast. They go try various chain restaurants, mostly fast food, and rate it. But I like the food content. Interesting. You'll get some great stuff. Someone described Panera Bread as where middle-aged women go to get bad news. Jeez. I used to love going there for lunch because it seemed like, I don't know. When we were eating a lot of really crap food in San Diego during that sort of like EQ era. Or was this, am I lying? Was this Austin? I don't know. It just wound up being a nice sort of way to mix things up. I'd go to Panera and get the French onion soup and some of their bread and feel like I was getting away a little bit. Man, we'd hit like chicken wing places. There was one place that was like Wings and Things or something in San Diego. And I mean, it was so delicious, but afterwards I was just like complete food coma. John Huberman, I think. He's a neuroscientist, former Stanford associate professor. Let me look. John Huberman. My wife's really into like just fitness, body hacking stuff, all of that. Yeah, this guy. This guy's got a really easy to listen to podcast as well. And it really gets into like health and neuroscience and some really interesting stuff in there. Yeah, Lex Friedman. I can't, for whatever reason, I don't listen to a lot of Lex. Wolfhausen, it just never really clicked for me. I don't know why. I don't know why. Chess Solo, you like Jocko as well? Yeah. I don't know how I ran into him. Probably through like Rogan or something. But I wound up buying his books and reading them and really enjoying them. Zoidberg, yes, Huberman is the guy that talks about fasting and waking up in light. He also he was talking about like these 20-minute sort of near sleep power naps. And I was like, all right, I don't mind after lunch 20-minute nap. I'll do that. And so I listened to one of the things that he was talking about. The Carmack one is one of the few that I've listened to all the way through about faster, Friedman stuff. Anyways, I wound up going to the YouTube channel for the 20-minute power nap yoga Vidra or something. Jasmine knows about it. Anyways, I went to that and listened to it, and it was like, at first I was kind of bummed because I was like, man, I'm not actually going to be able to nap. I'm listening to this lady talk me through relaxation. But I was kind of like in this weird near nap state, in and out of consciousness. And then it wrapped up in 20 minutes, and I got up and I was just like energized. This was, I don't know when this was. Might have been Tuesday before the stream. Maybe that's why that stream felt really nice. Maybe I should just hang up for a minute and go do a 20-minute power nap and then come back. Hang up. You can tell what a boomer I am. I'm like, maybe I should just hang up the phone right now. Go get me one of them there power naps. I don't know why me doing boomer voice was actually just me sounding like I was back in Alabama. Got a sleep apnea machine. Oh man. I feel bad for folks that are dealing with like sleep apnea. That just sounds like a rough thing to have to contend with. Stream the power nap? We should all sleep with each other. There's a category for that on Twitch. Power nap streaming, or just streaming your sleeping. Like the creepy category. Just a little creepy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That seems like an odd niche stream. People sleeping. Yeah, well. Sklar, what are we working on today? We're updating some appearances to use new appearances. It's a fairly chill way to spend some time. Don't forget to have your daily constitutionals of our team. Constitutionals are important. Ovaltine, we've got all sorts of other weird stuff. We take a lot of vitamins and things. Well, she's not going to demonstrate it very well because the women don't have clothes yet. All right. That'll work. Yeah, see, the more I like reload, here I'll pop out. The more I reload, the more it's like it's doing something. It's killing my frame rate. I have to talk to Ali about that. They have an implantable electrode that opens up the airway now. Surgical and pricey, but an interesting option versus CPAP. Man, I don't know what goes into it, but I've got the feeling if I had to wear a mask to sleep, I would probably opt for electrode implant. A whole sleep category? I might be wrong, Brown Butcher. I am often wrong about shit. It may not be a category, but I know it's like it's a thing. It's a niche. Your stream is kind of a relaxation exercise to me. That background music and your calm, comfortable voice is relaxing. I appreciate that. You guys have made me feel a lot better about my voice than I have ever in my entire life. If I had met you earlier in life, who knows what I would have wound up becoming. Instead of hating my voice my whole life, maybe I would have worked on it and improved it. Been more confident about it. Let me answer something real quick for Nick. I might have been working for a station down in Cincinnati. As fun as the show was, I don't know that I would ever find myself in Cincinnati. The power station. WGBN? When I was a kid growing up, there was there was like one channel from Chicago that had shows on it. On my cable. Takes a while to get used to. Might try different headgear as I reply to myself. Yeah. Rev Chumley, I don't know that I could do the mask thing. I'd probably get claustrophobic or whatever. I don't know how my wife does it. She wears a She wears a surgical mask all day. And woof. Mantis Boxer says, I've been looking for a new game to play that's come out over the years. Looks appealing to me, though I want to try survival games, but all of them lack things I would want. Have you played Valheim, Mantis? Zoidberg says, I fucking hate listening to my voice on meeting recordings. I can't watch replays of my stream for very long. It makes me really uncomfortable. Which sucks, because if I would just like, put up with it a bit, I could probably watch and make notes and find ways to improve the stream. Find different recurring errors and focus on improving those, thus making your experience better. But you've seen the game, it looks cool, but not what you're looking for? Okay, if you're not looking for Valheim, what are you looking for, Mantis? What kind of survival game? Alright, so those guys have clothes. Let's get this guy. Probably change these dudes. It's weird to you how different our voices sound to us when we're speaking versus when we hear ourselves recorded, right? It's, well, think about how that extrapolates out to our understanding of reality. I'm not good at concisely conveying it, but I've read some very interesting things about just how different reality actually is from the way we perceive it, since it's all just our brain's interpretation. Then you get into all the weird stuff about, like, what about the things that our brains can interpret that may be just moving around with us? WGN. Okay. With Gruff McGruff, Chicago, Illinois. Yes. Sean needs to flex into ASMR channels. I've mentioned a few times. That's how I even found out about all this. I was trying to find some long format EQ podcast stuff to fall asleep to. Problem was it was too interesting, kept you up. Fair. Thank you. It's mostly because our skull vibrates with our voice versus when we hear it from a recording or something, is my understanding. But why does it always sound so much shittier when we hear the recording? The skull vibration version's tolerable, at least. Same with looking at photos of ourselves. It's weird because we normally see our faces in a mirror, not photos. I've got a bit of body, was it body dysmorphia or something? My wife and I talk about this some. So I will always feel like that ultra skinny 14-year-old version of me. So I just always feel super skinny, except for every once in a great while I'll look in the mirror and be like, oh wait, I'm not skinny anymore. I'll always be like that big-headed skinny kid from my first years in high school. Though there's I guess a bit of a difference between like being 6'2" and 130 pounds and being 6'2" and 200 pounds, which is weird. Gula said 6'3", 205, feel like I'm 160. Yep, exactly. That's me. I look healthy though. I'm fairly healthy, believe it or not. Yeah, I'm 6'2", like 200 pounds. So And if I see somebody approaching in the street, when I see them in a distance, I'll always assume they're taller than me. And then whenever they get closer, most, you know, I would say a fair percentage of people are shorter than me. But it's always like, it's always that kind of weird thing. I don't know. You know, I think it comes from when I was a kid, at least, like, you know, definitely I was the outcast. My dad moved us to like the very southeast corner of Alabama when I was 13 turning 14, or no, 14. Yeah, right around there. And, you know, I'd spent a lot of my childhood in Germany and moved around a fair bit, and so it's definitely, I had like that outcast feel and super nerdy and all of that. So you know, just that reception, I think, is stuck with me ever since. Winter is working as intended. You gain fat. I'm fortunate. I kind of same boat, Isan, but we're lucky we have one of our rooms converted into a weight room, so that's been helpful. But I need to get out and start running now that the weather's a little bit warmer. Belfaster said, "Yeah, same. I see myself in the mirror. I'm like, hey, not too bad. Looking good today." Then I see a picture of myself and I look like an egg. Man, I'm sorry. Don't mean to laugh. Hey, Biggs. Or like how min pins think they're huge dogs. My dog thinks he's huge and ripping. Any big dog he sees, he wants a piece of. Beef Floaty said, "Can't wait to get back to running. Least favorite part of the winter is being cooped up." Yeah, I'm kind of like, man, I can't wait to go out and run, knowing damn well when I was in the army, this weather is more than adequate temperature and rain and blah 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 to go running. I'm being a wimp. I need to just winter hasn't been too bad here. Difference was you had to do the runs at 5:30. Yeah. See, so it's even easier now. My wife gets up between 5 and 6 to work out, so I don't really have much of an excuse. Wonder if I can turn this to green or if it's just gonna break everything. Like the robe, it's one of the new ones, and I've got this sort of belt hip thing going on just from I don't know, one of the old sets. Charles Barkley said he knew it was time to lose weight when he caught a glimpse of himself in the mirror and said, "Who's that fat guy in my house?" Before realizing it was him. Oh. Yeah, I'll run and show you some of the other folks that have clothes on in a minute. I got this. Let me reload and see. Yeah, that breaks things right there. Am I using a wrong term? Let me look. Let me look at our list of lerps. A lerp list, if you will. Oh, it's because that doesn't exist. That's why it keeps breaking. I kept trying to do something that does not exist. Well, that's bound to cause problems when you do things that don't exist. Green leather? But green leather does exist. So let's try that instead. That's what I was doing wrong earlier. Yeah, so the clothes and the faces and stuff are they're starting to come in now, and it's pretty tight. You're glad we're keeping it simple and trying to not make insane shoulder pads or anime things. Yeah, we've got some shoulder pads that are a bit kind of protrusive, like some little spiky ones, but that's like the far end of our scale and we'll probably keep it tight. Is this a new human model? Thought forearms were reduced. It is the new human model. All right, so he looks like he just woke up. So let's get him some pants. B Floody said, I keep a bunch of 70s, 80s fantasy D&D art on my wall to remind me of the good old days. Style I enjoy. Yeah, it's such a huge part of our inspiration. Or, you know, I'll speak for me. It's a huge part of my inspiration. I don't want to speak for other people. What happens if I give him these legs? I know he's not supposed to have these legs, but I'm just curious to see these legs. Let me see those legs. All right, Jacobin. We're going to try this out and see what happens. Oh, weird. Green leather. 01. He's wearing some running tights. And then I don't know what's up with his forearms. I don't know why legs are modifying his forearms, but let me look and see what controls forearms, what slots. What so supposedly 7 will modify that. Dawn Patrol, thank you for the Prime sub. Yeah, let's do this. Let's go over here now to 7 and see if it actually does anything. So is this year going to be the year for release or a little more time? We'll see how the year progresses. You guys keep an eye out on Discord. Coming up very soon, we'll give you an update on what's up with the stress tests that we're planning. If you're not in our Discord, you should be in our Discord. Dawn Patrol said, been following for a while. Really love everything you all are doing. Well, thank you very much for that. Was I a big Diablo guy back in the day? Curious how the thought of these new Diablo games strike you with the new one about to come out. I was Diablo 2 guy. I don't even think I played Diablo 3. I think I watched some videos on it, and Diablo 4. I've watched some videos on it and I'm kind of like, whatever. I don't know that I have the time. And that's going to sound kind of goofy, but I just, you know, I'm really always trying to think of like, if I had 2 hours to play Diablo 4, if I had 2 hours to play Diablo 4, what else could I be playing instead? Or could I be reading? Or could I be spending that time with my wife? Or what work should I be doing related to the game? Should I be spending 2 hours cleaning up Confluence? So Yeah, so let's see. I don't know that that's going to be ready for prime time. So maybe I'm going to give him some normal pants and then throw some boots on him and call him done for now. The depth of Path of Exile seems unmatchable. Yeah, Asmon had an interesting take on that, though, with regards to maybe they shouldn't try to match the depth of PoE, but instead make something that's kind of accessible and gets people back into, or gets people into ARPGs, and sort of be the best of the accessible. I mean, hell, I would probably even go back and spend, rather than spend 2 hours in Diablo 4, I'd probably go back and actually finally try Overwatch 2. UK Rad said the problem with PoE is too deep. A new player has no idea, drives them away. That was kind of the point that I believe Asmon was making as well. Let me find this guy some booties. Mr. Big Booty. Yeah, we'll give him the Play-Doh 4 feet, hopefully. Feats. Speaking of listening to music in the background, is it loud enough for you guys? Plate 04. No? Wacky God says no, but he's wacky, so I guess B Floaty seconded it. Oh, did I not start my bot? Oh well. Did I not? The bot was looking like it wasn't active. Good morning, Nicodemus. Alright, so let me turn up the music. Nicodemus, thank you for your generosity. 5 gift subs to the community. August Burns Phil. Jamazar. Bichte. Passive WoW. Zoidberg. No longer have to watch commercials. Which is a pretty big deal. Hey, VGFX. Let's see what happens. Do you guys have plans for melee strikes or skills beyond kick, bash, etc. to make melee combat more engaging? Yes. Backpack is textured now. It adds a lot. Well, it was textured before, but it wasn't colored, and this is all using the new system. So what I'm doing is updating the characters, the NPCs to use the new system. Bellfaster said, I know you probably have a backlog of games you'd like to recreate with NWC. Once Eminem is humming along, but I hope some classic type FPS makes the list on there. Somewhere like Action Quake 2, Gloom, Quake Arena, even something like Heretic, Hexen. There are lots of cool early multiplayer FPS experiences to pick from. You guys were talking about something like that last stream. Isn't there like a boomer shooter or something? Isn't that the term now? Or VGFX said, this weekend I hope to add new color options. Awesome. Well, and then we'll update as we go. I'm kind of just making people less naked for the time being. And so that way we've got this stuff in. And then we'll just continue to iterate and update from there. So that'll be great. Yeah, more color options will definitely be handy. The new faces you guys have been, let's see, let me respond to Ollie really quick. But if you don't get to it until after I'm done streaming, I'll merge them. Yeah, the stuff that you guys are doing with the faces, I cannot wait to see more of that in game. I'm so bad about like saving stuff though, but you know what? I'm not going to show these face textures here. I'll show them in the update. I'll show them in the update. I'm not gonna spoil it. Are you guys still using a similar armor system from before, where the armor designed for humans will fit other races properly too? Yeah, Chinny D, that is still the plan unless something changed. Nicodemus, thank you very much, both for your generosity and for the compliment. All right, so Ranger Spell Merchant. Let's get these guys. We'll update them. Oh, foreign rangers. Those, they belong to Luna, but you know what? I'm just gonna update her. I'm gonna update her dudes anyways. But first, let me. And then she can adjust them later if she doesn't like the style I pick. So let's go ahead. We'll just grab this here. We'll find. Check up. Then we'll come over here and we'll just copy them basically for now. Samesies. Was that not him? Oh, refresh. So many old players going back to CSGO. After yesterday's announcement, looks like that game is about to make a pretty large return on to the forefront of FPS games. Did they? Am I noting any of these in the spreadsheet? Not yet, Nick. What I plan to do is just do the spreadsheet in a pass after I do like a first pass. Because a lot of these are going to change again. A lot of these are going to change again, like Patrick was just saying, there'll be new color options and stuff. And then what I was going to do is I was just going to open a spreadsheet and then move through the city, sort of area by area, and then lock it down. So if you go to, but I've got the spreadsheet open. Like if we go to, trying to think. Like I just went here this morning, was like, all right, let's just make sure everybody's got a little something on. The other thing too is some of these things that I'm doing with some of the sets may not be kosher once the art folks and the rest of you look at it. Maybe like, oh, you know what? Now that I see that in action, maybe we should give you a different armor set for these guys or whatever. That said, if everybody runs around and they're like, hey, all that stuff looks great, just leave it as is for now. There's an appearance column that'd be appropriate for the first pass. Yeah, I know. That's what I want to come back and do later. I'm just gonna run through all of it and then go, all right, I know that I've touched this, this, and this, and I'll run through and then click on them. Because for me, it's easier to just go through and update these in the 3 windows that I'm using, and then come back in a separate pass with the spreadsheet and update it the way my brain works, rather than have like another window as well that I'm then clicking. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense to folks, but. Perhaps give a name to Ranger Spell Merchant? Eventually. There's Archer Spell Merchant as well. Yep, no, you're right. I'm not disagreeing. They will eventually have names. We do not have the plan to leave our NPCs named Ranger Spell Merchant. Yeah, Nick, it's not. I know it probably sounds weird, but it's just not how I'm thinking at the moment. I thought about it as I was you put the sheet out, and I was like, do I want to do it this way? And then I decided I didn't. Because for me, like when I look at the spreadsheet, I know which ones I've touched, and I just want to sit down with the spreadsheet and just go all in one pass. And you know, I can do that. I can do that soon. Don't worry. But what if that's his name's? That's his name? No, that's just silly. All right. So even like right now, discussing this is throwing me for one. Here we go. ESG, thank you for the follow. Manta said that music is really good. I feel like the music is 50% of the game if the music background is well made. Almost any game will feel good. That good old RPG music feel. Yeah, there's I'll run over there and see if it's in. I actually don't know if it's in because I feel like the last few times I've been over there, I had the audio turned off. So I will go over there, and I think there's like a new little bit of music that we can listen to. BGFX, am I supposed to say that in like a James Bond voice? Foreign Ranger, let's go ahead. Oof. Chaos says, looking at the banner behind you, you reminded me of some of the banners I saw in one of the dungeons. I would suggest to give banners some age instead of current brand new look, but I'm guessing you guys are still working on finishing touches. Yeah. We're still working on the game. That's a fair suggestion though. Weather it a little bit. Lots of just deleting random BS here. All right. Those weren't our guys that we're looking at right now, but it's still, that'll still work. What are we looking at here? We're looking at our RNG. Merchant. And then Archer Merchant. Sean, earlier we were talking about reality and our voices, and I had to step away. If the subject interests you, you should watch Donal Hoffman's work. If you haven't, he has a fascinating theory on what our reality is. Let me open it. American cognitive psychologist and popular science author. Okay. The case against reality. Fair enough. Oh, you're right. It did fill in Donald. Cool. Regarding music, everyone should listen to Robert Engstrand's YouTube channel. It's a crime that the title track only has 799 views. The title track is a banger. John, wonderful memory of past discussions. Sean, I don't believe in reality. Okay, boss. Nick, if you're still listening in the background, don't worry though. I really am going to update that spreadsheet because I really do want the team to be very checklist focused in the coming weeks. So I'm not bullshitting. I'm not blowing it off. I really do appreciate it existing. I was looking at it, and I swear I was looking at it this morning with that very topic in mind when I got started, and I was just, for whatever reason, I was like, let me just do it this other way. I can't explain it. I feel like operating with that level of organization in real time would break my brain. I'm very much jazz as a human. Jazz hands. My main concern is that I'm missing a PC, so if you're doing it as you go, you can fill any blanks. Oh, fair. That, and thank you for expressing that. That's actually helpful to me to think about. I was curious about how you queried it, because I know there are the animals and stuff in there, but it seemed like... Actually, I was just... rather than me guess, I was curious how you queried and dumped it. You don't have to tell me here. It may be easier in voice or whatever, just so I can learn. But that's a fair point. Okay, I'll definitely keep that in mind. You just grabbed an HNSD. All right. For some reason, it didn't seem that crazy of a list, but oh, all right, fair. Cool. I'll definitely I'll keep it in mind. Those of you that I try to keep up the patter a bunch when I'm streaming, just because a lot of the shit that I'm doing is on the other screen. Maybe I need to like have 2 cameras or 2. Oh, I could do that. No, because there's a bunch of stuff on the other screen that I would never want you to see. You can check their NPC hid with stats, I think. Okay. Yeah, just to confirm. Okay, what was I doing? These guys. This guy needs the same treatment as the other guy. Who is that guy? Archer. That's how we get ants, Lana. Nicodemus said, organization is important, but there is a balance. Too much organization, the project gets bogged down with meetings, tasks that really don't help move the project along. It's a fair point. I do not think we are guilty of that one. Oh, hey. We're not falling into that organization trap. I need to have a discussion with a former coworker, friend of mine, because she's like super project manager. Need to have a conversation with her soon and walk her through what we've been doing the last couple of years and see what her thoughts are. Got the feeling she'd have some interesting feedback, but I also think there's been some fantastic learnings on this project. Always opportunity to do things better, but the team and the project have just really exceeded my expectations and really been kicking ass. You really enjoy having meetings about additional meetings and meetings after the meetings to discuss how we could have better meetings when we have future meetings. And then meetings after the meeting about the meetings to kind of discuss, did we need to have all those people in that meeting about meetings? And then maybe another meeting just with a subset of the people that were discussing the subset of the people. But this time we're going to bring a coach in so that when we have future meetings about people that need to be in meetings and whether or not we should be having future meetings, then we can do like the right framework and format about the meeting, right? Like we need to get this meeting shit down. You think I'm being a smartass? I have lived this. Do we secretly work together? Did we secretly just become best friends? Dude, I'm telling you, I've worked in some environments. We live in an environment. Some people might forget an email, spacing it out, so physically doing it makes more of a memory for it. Yeah, well, yeah. We couldn't expect people to read an email about it, emails about meetings. I don't know. Can't make that meeting. Sorry. Can we reschedule? Yeah, that's the best thing. Then how do we set the time up to ensure that everybody can be in the meeting about meetings? When will this game come to Tesla cars? I think it might already be played on the Tesla. Someone asked D Loves Pudding if he's secretly snuck in and put our game on the Tesla, because I know he's stated that he's watching the stream. He sent me pictures of him watching the stream on Tesla. So I've joined a meeting where no one knows why we're meeting, and the person's scheduled meeting is there. I had several of those in my life. That's not even a weird thing to me to hear. I don't think it was about meetings, but I had a dream night before last, and it was such a boring ass dream that I woke up the next morning, and I was just so bummed to have wasted my sleep time having that boring ass dream. It was so weird. It was just like, why did I have to dream that? It was the whole dream. I was like, I think just trying to make something happen or whatever, and it was the strangest dream for me. Meetingception. It was a weird one. Most of my dreams are adventures. I'm not gonna lie. I like going to sleep. I like sleeping. I get excited when I'm laying in bed about to fall asleep because I know odds are I'm gonna probably have a crazy ass dream about adventures. I'm probably gonna be doing some flying. I always fly the same way in my dreams. Like the way that like I project whatever energy is required for me to fly. I am always flying in my dreams. And I'm showing off too. I'm like showing off to everybody else. I'm like, I can fly. Look at me. You can't fly. Jackass. I get so into it. I'm so amped when I'm like starting to have the dream and I know it's a flying dream too. It's not like me just flying around doing random shit. It's usually me flying around doing adventure shit. And man, you are the soul creating alternate realities to go do stuff in while your avatar rests. I think there's something weird. I can remember dreams from when I was like 5, 4, throughout my life. You know, like if I sit down and think about dreams that I've had, I can remember dreams about as good as I can remember anything else in life. And there's definitely been periods where I have like recurring locational dreams, and it's just, man, I love dreaming. To fly my dream, I have to clear my head and like focus on this region in the back of my head, or I kind of like fizzle out in your trajectory, Monty said. Monty, mine's like, it's a projection. Like I just kind of exert the ability, and it's like, it's a sensation I can almost feel now, but it doesn't work. Obviously I can't fly, which sucks, but like there's just sort of this projection. I project myself in the direction that I want to go. And it feels the same way every single dream. So I'm like, this has to be real somewhere. And it's not like I don't have dreams where there's like some different mechanism for flying. It's this projection of like, it's so weird to describe because it's like you can feel it coming out of your skin. It's like energy coming out of your skin just moves you forward. Or wherever you want to go. Hell's Ridge said, man, the coolest dream I've ever had was based on the movie Jumper. I had the ability to teleport short and long distances. Oh, that was a fun movie. Still remember it vividly. It's sheer focused intention on movement. Yeah. Hey, Monty, how are you doing? I was thinking about you the other day just because there's, like, not trying to speak ill or project negative energy or whatever out there, but I know your company has been having some continued restructuring and stuff. Hanging in there. Crazy, crazy stuff. You're as safe as anyone can be. That's good to hear. Alright. So all these guys have some stuff on. They're pretty samey looking at the moment. That's fine though. Hate playing the waiting game. I am horrible at it. Let's log on back in. I may even have to, we'll try this, may kill Unity and come back. Gotta figure out what's going on with the frame rate. from all the reloads, but I think I mentioned this before. I also have my only like scary dreams have been usually deal with structure. So it'll always be a house, or I think one time it was like a mall that was haunted. And just, you can feel just how negative the energy is coming from this place. And they just wind up being trippy, gnarly, sketchy, wake up, oh shit kind of dreams. But oddly, when I'm thinking about that, the possibility of that dream going when I'm going to sleep, I'm kind of excited because it's just such a, doesn't happen often, and man, it gets the blood flowing. Also, you can go into other souls' alternate realities that they create when they go to sleep too. Have you ever read the short story The Egg Mantis? Monty said, it's a good fire under me and a reminder that I need to focus on things I want to build. That's why you got in this thing in the first place. Yep. My interpretation of the short story The Egg is essentially, I mean, it's a one-page short story. It's very short, but I like the concept that it projects or puts forward. My analysis, my interpretation of that short story is that it's basically showing that all entities. So the idea is that every entity that's existed or will exist are all the same person. Just part of the maturation process or the evolution of the entity that he's speaking to in the short story. Basically, the way that you grow up is to have every experience imaginable. And which would make all conscious life essentially part of some giant sort of machine learning program. Essentially is the way I would interpret that. All right, so your worst nightmare was a group of girls chasing you around the city and then cornering you and asked one if I could buy them pizza, and I woke up in a close sweat. Really? Chocolate? Interesting. That's a real dream. I think my bad dreams are usually I've done something, something that I wouldn't have done in real life. Right? Like I cheat on my wife or something. And it's always such a bummer of a dream, but it's so rad to wake up and be like, oh, I didn't do that shit. That's wonderful. Yay. So those are kind of bad dreams. I'd say, like I said, a lot of my dreams involve adventure or action or combat or whatever. And, the negative outcomes of combat, it's just part of the adventure. So usually I don't consider those bad dreams, but it's always nice to wake up and still be intact. I've got all the sailors. They're going to be shirtless. They've got some capris on, some nice deck shoes. Mantis said, I've trained myself on projecting thought of what the soul wants to do when my body goes to rest, and it's similar to remote viewing. Yeah, in the past I've been able to guide what dream I was going to go into. Hellsroot said, I've also had a recurring dream since I was around 5 where I wake up in my childhood home and in place of my dining room is a glowing blue lagoon. Oh, that's an interesting one. Yeah, Monty. Monty's such a talented person that if anything crappy happens like that, I can only imagine you'll wind up in a better situation. Scholar said, my bad dreams are waiting table dreams. I have 20 customers. Oh, I can always tell when I'm really stressed. Let me finish yours though. You have 20 customers and you forget about them. Haven't waited tables in 20 years, but I still have bad dreams about it. If I'm really stressed, I'll know that I'm stressed. Often I just don't really perceive it. And so I'll know that I'm getting stressed and not realizing it. I'll have a dream about being back at the base I was stationed at when I was in the army. And our primary mission there was a ceremonial unit. And we had to have our uniforms. Like the amount of work that went into getting a uniform ready for the next day was ridiculous. So here, I'll tell you really quick. Remember last stream I said over the weekend, I was like, I'm only going to talk about M&M and games related stuff on my streams. I'm going to work on that. And this stream is actually 100% the opposite of that. So good job, guys. I blame you. Anyway. Yeah, so we had our each barracks, each company had its had press shops in the basement where you would just be like, you know, the steam presses, the big one that you'd find like an old school, you know, whatever, what do you call like a store that takes care of clothing like that? Anyway, shop. Anyways, so we had these steam presses, and what would happen is we'd get a new uniform. We'd have multiple like dress blues, army dress blues, wool uniforms. We'd only use the winter wool. And then we would cut all the buttons off of them. So we cut every button off of them. We go in, you take every seam, where like the seam, and you pin it with straight pins so that it's perfect. It's got to be perfect on the seam. No railroad tracks. Perfect. Pin it down. You would steam everything to be ultra crisp, just super sharp. You would unpin it. You'd take a hand steamer and you get rid of any pinholes. Pockets, you make your own cardboard cutouts so that when you press the front flat, lapel and everything, and under lapels, it won't leave a dent underneath it. And any dent that's there, you have to hand steam out. Every button, when we first get them, we drop them in alcohol. And pull all they're anodized. So you pull all of that. So you just got the base brass underneath it. Then we had jeweler wheels, and we would, rouge them on a jeweler wheel. Then you buff them with, cotton and alcohol and a straight pin on every line in the flag, everything. So that all of that's perfect. Everything was done to that level. And we do that for every ceremony. And so, you know, that's about an hour and a half out of your day getting that ready. So it was interesting times. And so not having a uniform ready, because every ceremony, everything we did was graded. There'd be guys around with clipboards watching, see if anybody moved an inch. They would randomly pull people out of formation beforehand to grade their uniforms, and your company would take a hit, lose points based on if they found anything wrong with your setup. You know, that it was just every piece of you was analyzed. And so that was just one of those things. Everything had to be perfect. Everything on the uniform was pinned back on, ribbons, all of that shit. And was measured to 1/32 of the inch. And yeah, that was part of our ceremonial thing. Now the cool part was, while our mission was primarily ceremonial, we were also essentially a quick reaction force for the Washington D.C. area, Military District of Washington. So we got to do, this was back in the early 90s, so we got to do a lot of urban warfare and stuff that wasn't really a big thing at the time. We weren't really training for that a lot back then. We are now. CQB and everything's a lot, naturally a bigger focus, but we got to do a lot of really cool stuff. But I would say that once you've gotten used to the idea of like that level of discipline and not moving for an hour to 4 hours, depending on ceremony or whatever, doing regular army shit was just easy. It just felt so much easier because we would do all that stuff. We'd wake up, we'd do PT at 5 in the morning. We'd do our usual PT, go run around DC. Everybody had to basically max their PT scores. Our unit wanted to have everything be maxed. And so we do that, and then we'd come back and do probably practice ceremony in a completely different uniform, and come back and get ready for the actual ceremony and do that. And yeah, man. Running around in the woods and playing Rambo and shit wound up being a good time, relatively speaking. But I mean, is also very fortunate as a non-combat mission, and that period of time was pretty chill. Anyway, now we're completely derailed. Let's get back at it. Let me time set and see if any naked civilians appear. Time set 8 p.m. Appear, people. All right, performers. Let's get you some clothes. Or maybe that's the kind of performer they are. This performer's headless. This is a very scary performance. Oh my gosh, this frame rate right now. We gotta figure it out. This is the tale of the headless dancer. I noticed that you can make people just bodiless. Burlesque, headless burlesque, mantis. What are you, some kind of necro? This performance is convincing. Yep. It's not a headliner for sure. Top that one, John. Fabrizio has got you. The drummer behind the stage is just pounding the shit out of that drum. Let's see why this person has no head. Oh, I see why they have no head. I have no head. I have no head. Can't get ahead of that one. Damn, John pulls it off. John pulls it off. Thought it couldn't happen. It happened. The headless magician, it's in the bag. Pulls his own head out of the hat. Guys, I hope you find this at least somewhat entertaining. I apologize. You're just here wanting to talk about some Eminem, and we're just all over the place talking about silly shit. Talking about the army for the 50th time. I wonder what my dog's doing out there. He's running around in an unusual manner. Rune? Yeah. If it's an intruder, then you guys are gonna get a hell of a show. That'll be one of those videos. Twitch streamer deals with intruder live on stream. Rune's 30 minutes early. Even earlier than that, it's only 3:30 on my end. What are you doing, buddy? Did you need a chomp or somebody? Alright, well, get him. To be fair, it's pretty normal game dev coworker talks. It's true. You guys should feel welcomed in as family. Just export it as a new mob for your Haunted Mansion motif. UK Reds, did you see our Shadow Man? Excuse me. We gotta, like, we have an entire shadow everything. We figured it out. We can make shadow everythings with the click of a button. Cheapest model we've made to date. What do we want to do for these boats here? Let's get them a cool outfit going. One of these two performers will eventually become a woman again when the models, or yeah, when everything's working again. Eminem, new monster, immune to headshots. Mez, blindness. All forms of concussion. Oh, I know where I can go experiment. Ba-ring. Those of you that are tuning in for the first time, don't know what we're working on, we are working on an MMORPG called Monsters and Memories. Our website is there. Join us in Discord if you want to actually ask questions that are on topic and not just some random shit I'm talking about. And be sure to join our mailing list. I haven't checked in a while, but we're up to like 2,700. Help us hit 3,000. We'll make it worth your while. Happy Thursday, Swanee. I remember in Ultima there were very tough creatures called Headless. Oh, Kinji, that's a great point. You're right. They were kind of like an Etten, only minus the 2 heads. I could have sworn. Wasn't that right? Or were they more kind of scrappy or scraggly? Let me see. Ultima Headless. See if it's the image I'm remembering. Yeah, for some reason I thought they were bigger, but I think you're right. Man, I love these old manuals. The art here is so good. Okay, so it's not going to work because armor doesn't show up properly on her, because she's a her. Double merchant I'll leave as is for now. Inquisitor merchant, same idea. This is the guy I was looking for. He's pretty cool looking like this, but I think we can spruce him up. Remember the old concept art of Chris Metzen? It's funny. That's a good point about Metzen's art. I don't know if I've looked at any in quite a while. Need to add that sage side glowy magenta to the lerps. Would it actually be glowy or just magenta? Some additional just kind of natural colors and lighter colors. Like one of the things I noticed was wanting to do some like whites and stuff for the paladins, like white shirts and things like that. And the closest I could do was, yeah, it makes sense. As soon as I said it, I realized it probably shouldn't be emissive. But yeah, so I think everybody in the paladin cleric area is just kind of rocking this brown as the lightest. And there's something going on with bracers because I don't think we're actually adding the bracers in data at the moment, but they're just kind of appearing, I think, whenever I do the BP. So that, I don't know if that's a bug or something to consider, or I need to factor in or whatever. Whatever. I'm just saying words at the moment. White or sky blue for holy characters, maybe. Well, I mean, their colors per description is oh, he hasn't hooked up bracer. When you put the pants on, the bracers show up. Okay. And now that you say that, that is, I think when I saw it earlier, I was like, really? I just put pants on. Why did my bracers show up? When you put your pants on, it's go time. Bracers appear. Whether you like it or not. It's like the 80s. You put leather pants on, some bracers are gonna appear. Quiet Riot. So this guy. Oh man, it's raining. Just like Germany. It's just like a Germany. You know who wears a pants in family when the bracers are showing? Oh man. Brace yourself. Jamazar. Don't get everybody started again. Come on, feel the noise. Nicodemus. I used to love that song when I was a kid. Makes me money. Don't know why. I don't know why anymore. No, no, no. Come on, girl, rock your voice. What? Okay, let me actually look at that bug. Blah 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 blah. Oh, did I accidentally try to? Oh, yeah. Well, let's just go ahead and cancel editing. Got too aggressive. If you could make a list of some colors, I will prioritize them. I already have a copper lerp cooking, so please send me any notes for our next free time moment to get things in. Okay, we'll do. Probably it'll just wind up being some lighter, certain lighter colors and earth tones. Mantis has already made the list for you, VGFX. There you go. You don't even need me for this. I think it's weird that most evil designs are run down and ugly, when to me they should be the most showy and decadent. Armor, buildings, etc. Oh, don't you worry, John. We'll have that covered. Showy, decadent evil is my middle name. Like, guys, we need to step up our evil game. Let's see what this does to this guy. Not quite what was expected. but not bad. I don't hate it at the moment. Let's give him a different color. Show us the Bastion of Thunder-like zone. I love that zone and happy to see what M&M comes out to be. Oh, thanks you, Venetti. I'm trying to remember Bastion of Thunder. Is that the Inquisitor armor with leathers on him? Basically, I just did plate. Oh, nope, there's a difference here. I did plate O2, a silver metal O1. So most of that is using this. Let me see if that's true. Nope, here it's not. Here it's not. Let me make it consistent. Let me hit it again, see what happens. Giant zone of pop. That part's Bastion of Thunder? No, I think Bastion of Thunder was maybe Raitan? I think he did it. Now let me look at the image and see what it's supposed to look like. Give me a suggestion and we'll do it live. I mean, it kind of looks like what the image is. Oh no, the BP's not showing up. BP is not showing up. Plate, silver metal. To debug, you can put grayscale on each slot and then see what changes. His mask may be off. So let me update the BP then. Mantis says maybe paladin colors can be mostly white with some red on the edges, like how the Holy Knights were in our world. Like white with silver and they had outlined red crosses but without the cross part. And the clerics can be all white with sky blue edges. Have you seen the class concept art on our Discord? Mantis? The link's right there. Take a look at that and see what you think. Do, 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 do. Is it on our website? That's a good question. I don't know if it is, but here's a link to our website, just in case. If you check the images that are there, you can let me know. I don't know if it is. Oh, you know what? Let me just actually, instead of I think I'm the one breaking it. Patrick, let me put in the values that are actually in the dam on the website on Confluence. I think I was getting a little too creative, and this is all probably just user error then. So let me follow instruction. How about that? So chest. Legs. Feet. if this looks any different. Mantis, there should be like a full layout of all the classes. Does M&M already have a completed design for Night Harbor that you're all working against, or are you more organically adding content to it? The latter. It just kind of it comes in layers and some back and forth between like design and art and stuff. So this will probably be one that I need to come back to. All right. But he's kind of updated. He's a little updated. Guys are good enough for now. Gotta figure out what's going on with our volumes. It's the same problem we were having on Tuesday. There we go. But on the upside, our NPCs have stopped bopping. They were bopping up and down, but Ali pushed the fix earlier today. Right before the stream, actually. Oof. May have to restart Unity, deal with the frame rate issue. Oh yeah, I forgot there's a thing that I want to play around with. I'm super excited. I went to bed thinking about it last night. Super excited to play around with it. But I'm not going to play around with it on stream because it needs to be a surprise for when you play. But I'm excited to mess with it. Watching your character run down the stairs, is there any intent to make the clipping smoother so that it's less jarring bouncing. You mean the movement, the bouncing as I'm going downstairs? Or when you say clipping, it throws me a little bit. Ramthin. Like doing a ramp instead of individual stairs. That's where I'm assuming he's heading, but I wanted to confirm. Yeah, what Monty said. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Ollie this is the, I think the first pass of the new character controller. We had a very sort of placeholder character controller before. So Ollie's just put this in. I'm not sure how he's handling the collision with something like stairs. My assumption is that we'll be looking at this and either fixing it as part of the character controller, right? Like how does the actual collision work? Collision capsule, I assume, and how does it deal with these little bumps and kind of smooth them out? Or if it's not being handled there, then as Monty said, we could handle it potentially in the collision for the stairs, have it be a ramp collision. Or something else. But yeah, so the idea will be that we'll clean that up a little bit. But we're just starting on that work. And the real test will then be the difference between the human. So one of the reasons why we did the human and then the gnome and the ogre as playables, though we've got to get, since we've redone some things with the rigs and blah blah blah, we've got to get the gnome and the ogre fully back up to speed. But the reason why we picked yeah, like Ramton, you just mentioned that. Yeah, so is just so that we can see what it feels like on the smallest character, the largest playable character, and then a human. And we'll use all of those to kind of tweak the approach. If you wanted to see something really funny, when I was working on DC Universe Online, you would stick, like, because you could run up walls, or you could climb. When we were still working on the character controller, you could super speed and you'd be stuck to the ground so precisely initially that you would do this. Your whole character would basically just do this flopping up every stair. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, we'll work on that. No, it's a good catch, but still early days, and we'll just continue to work on stuff. And when you're going super speed, it was really noticeable. Hey, Justin Beard, I'm glad you're alive, buddy. And we'll find little stuff like this as well. Ramp collision for the stairs is a good idea for the capsule collision, but leg IK can be driven via visibility or something and just put the heel on the step. But then it's like, do you put leg IK transforms through the network? Wouldn't, would you need to? I mean, wouldn't all of that just be handled client side? Positional validation seems like it's enough. I don't know that we're validating animations. Then again, I'm kind of out of this is kind of out of my area of responsibility, so I may just be talking nonsense. So Ali just got the new character controller in, but he's been dealing with some other issues in the meantime. So I'm sure there'll be more iteration. People actually balance with their arms in real life. So going up and down stairs is like that though. If we made it intentional, then I could see the argument, but right now it just feels a little buggy. So, excuse me, I agree. Let me look at something. Since I'm curious what my performance is right now. What's going on, Unity? What are you doing? Actually, it's not much. That's not bad at all. I wonder what else is going on then, potentially. Off-duty guards should be allowed to participate in bar fights. Players don't die, just get knocked out. Oh no, players can die in a bar fight. Basically, death animation has to stay there a minute, and then they wake up and stand. Oh no, no sir. Do you remember Polar Radiance? I was just thinking about, sorry, I wasn't just thinking about. I know I've in the past mentioned that scenario in Pool of Radiance. There's one of the taverns that you go into. And there's a bar fight, and if you stick around for it, it's the fight between like the city guards and somebody else. And there you are with your little party of whatever it is, four people, 6 people. And that bar fight goes off. And not only do they just, can you die pretty quickly in that fight if you go in and you're like level 1. You die and the bar fight like just continues to play itself out while you basically have nothing to do, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there is a way out of it. And it's just, you're sitting there dead watching them fight for the next like 10 minutes. SSI Pool of Radiance. I just played that again a couple years ago when I moved here. I was stuck in quarantine for 5 days. So I was just staying at a friend's apartment. She wasn't using it, so and I loaded up Pool of Radiance again, and I totally forgotten about that bar. I think this is actually the bar fight. And so I've been waiting to put a bar fight in our inn for a while now. I can't wait to do it. Oh, that's pretty dope. I don't remember that. Dude, these games were mind-blowing as a kid. Mind-blowing. I had such an attachment to these little super simple characters. Man. Like they looked real to me. Alright, let's get some farmer clothes going, guys. While we're in here today. Miss those games? Well, they still exist, but I miss the experience of like playing them for the first time. You get temp abilities that appear on your macros, like smash bottle chair over people's head. Mortis? It's interesting. Pool of Radiance, never played that one, but it looks incredible. Man, it was such a vibe when I was a kid. Played Might and Magic back in the day? Yep. So monsters and memories triggered your M&M memories. That's the magic of our approach. We're just trying to find all the different ways to push your nostalgia buttons. It's about nostalgia as much as it is about making the new game. We want to make we just want to make a vibe. We want to make an experience. So it's not like we're just trying to compete with other MMOs. We're trying to fill in a little spot that's maybe missing, and some folks were like, man, got this nostalgia hole. A few years ago, you could get them for free, then they took it back and are charging people to play the gold box series. But it's not much. I think I got like every single gold box for whatever it was, like 20 bucks or something on GOG. Alright, let's get the farmer some clothes. I really like GOG for that reason. I have no pants. Farmers. All of these. Yep. All of these folks need some clothes. Give them a straw hat and nothing else. That'll definitely be a farmer tan. That's changing up the farmer tan dynamic. Never got to play old school RPGs besides Ultima. One game that you always remember was Baldur's Gate. And Minsk yelling, "Go for the eyes, boo." I don't remember that. I started reading an old, just to kind of keep me in the mood, I started reading the old Gary Gygax books. And I've started with Saga of the Old City. Greyhawk Adventures. This one. Never played Baldur's Gate? I did, I just don't remember that. You'll be shocked at the stuff I don't remember. Let me look. Dude, when was this? Like, why is my memory of it so bad? I'm just reading through now. I think I played it and just didn't play a ton of it. Or play through very much, or like started and just didn't. Yeah. And that was in the era of, then once 99 was there, like it was just EQ for me. Is literally the most epic battle cry. It was if you heard it. It was hard for it to be the most epic battle cry if I don't know if I even experienced it. Now that I get the context, I'm like, that's pretty cool, but Kimmery said, "Oh, nice. I still work with a few old farts from the TSR days of D&D. Oh, that's really cool." All right, I'll click the link. I'm assuming that'll be fine for.
Go for the eyes, boo. Go for the eyes. Rusk!
Okay, I do not remember that at all. Don't remember at all. So it's this big meaty ranger, and he had a little pet hamster. Meaty. Meaty. Brown Butcher reiterated. Meaty. A farmer. Do we only have a farmer? Where? Really? Just... Or, oh my gosh, frame rate. About time to reload. It shouldn't be an farmer. Farm starts with F. Let me kill this. Let me restart Unity totally and see what happens. Enjoy the silence. Man, I kind of want more coffee. Would that be bad of me? Another coffee? EQ came out when I joined the army. I tried to sham so much just so I could get back to EQ. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I could definitely see folks getting in trouble. We had to get rid of a couple guys in our unit for that reason. But it was before EQ came out. They were spending too much time playing whatever the hell they were playing. And they wouldn't leave their room to just walk down the hall and use the restroom. They were peeing in jugs. So during we had, because of our security clearances, we had like very frequent health and welfare checks. Like we had to be drug tested constantly, and they'd bring the dogs through, and the dogs went crazy on their room, and that wasn't the worst of it, but I'll leave it there. But yeah, so our two video game guys got das Boot. They also got caught with some pyro they shouldn't have had, and a stolen ceremonial sword and some other crap. And it wasn't just number one that they weren't leaving the room for. So they got walked out like that day. Some days you gotta do 2+ coffees. So this will be my 4th. See you, Nicodemus. Thank you again for your generosity, buddy. See you on Tuesday. All right, Chaos Flux is typing up a funny story as we speak. And then I'm going to get up and make another coffee just because, you know what, I can. Das Boot reference confirmed. It's starring a bunch of gnomes. Ran into a lot of military guys playing EQ on PS2 in other countries on bases. Green logo matching your PC color scheme. Oh, yeah, on my desktop. PS2 is probably easier for them being on a base and all. Well, but the whole network adapter, the Ethernet plug-in thing for the PS2 was a little unusual. Whereas I knew a ton of dudes with PCs when I was in the army. And that was back before people had them. Man, I should have just went and made coffee while this thing is loading up. Jeez Louise. Yeah, it's not helping. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get with Ollie this weekend maybe and see what's what with the with my frame rate in the editor at the moment. Make sure it's not an issue in the built client. How strong is the coffee relative to the loading times? My coffee's pretty weak. So Chaos Flux said, it's deployed in Iraq in 2003. It was horrible. Mortars all the time inbound, but the worst part, no internet, which meant I couldn't play EQ. However, I linked up with an Iraqi online who came to my base and sold me a satellite dish through Hughes Network. I basically sold my first sergeant. Told my first sergeant I could get internet for our company. So I had everyone pitch in for the satellite dish and monthly fee for internet. I had to run through so many hoops, and at the time my IT skills were lacking, but I made it work and networked everyone to the satellite connection. Also, I could play EQ in Iraq in 2003. I completely believe you. When EQ first came out, I would have run wire myself. Anything to ensure the connection. I think I've told the story. We had moved from the skate park to the skate shop as we were downsizing as I was getting ready to move to California. And I started having network trouble. Like I was constantly getting red ping at the shop that I didn't have at the park. And I was like, WTF. So I called our local provider and was trying to figure out why I kept getting such bad packet loss. And I heard the skeleton in the background because he's like, I don't see anything wrong with your line and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, man, but I'm trying to play this game and blah, 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 I can't have packet loss. And I heard the skeleton, the EQ skeleton cackle in the background. I was like, are you playing EverQuest right now? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, you know my pain, right? He's like, oh, you're trying to play EQ? And then all of a sudden he got real serious about helping me. Because before he was like distracted and shit. He's probably running around. I think I might have even asked him, like, what zone are you in? Unrest? Anyway, yeah, so, like I said, I told the story before. We tracked it down because the phone company came out and they realized that it was just every time squirrels would run across the phone line. When the squirrels were running across the phone lines, I'd get packet lost for a little bit. Squirrels! Freaking squirrels, man. Turns out he's from a rival guild. Your pinger never got better. This was back when I was in like a roleplay mom and pop guild. No one messed with us. They just didn't care. We were role-playing guys. We role-played our own rival guild. That's how roleplay we were. We were our own worst enemy. Literally. Is this the same blue as I have on the robe? On the robe I'm wearing? I don't know. I'd have to... Let me look up what item this is. What am I wearing? Fine blue cloth robe. Interesting. Item? Fine blue. Go all items. Fine blue. Let's find. Yeah, so it's blue cloth 01. The robe is blue cloth 01 and his thing is blue cloth 01. It's like, I think it's the difference in just the grayscale. Yeah, the ping from Iraq on satellite was about 500, 600 milliseconds. Didn't care, could play. Yeah. I can't imagine what that looked like, but... Chocolate said, I was in high school when I first played EQ. My dad had AOL dial-up and satellite internet. I'd use satellite for updates and dial-up to play. Just too unstable for playing, but fast at the time for downloading. Makes sense. Good thing about high ping is you learn to be predictive more than reactive. I'd imagine there's a number of things you just couldn't play though. Loading times, Big said, loading times on dial-up were great. You could hit a zone, go to the restroom, grab a drink, make a snack, come back, and PC would still be... Yeah, absolutely. Man, that path from where I was playing to the closest restroom, or closest bathroom, man. It's nice seeing this stuff come in though, Patrick. Zukin, VGFX, Goblin, good job. Good job, everybody. What was I gonna do? I think did I try to change his color? See what happened to his shirt. There we go. Now he feels a bit farmery. More farmery. That's good farmer color. What's it look like? It's a O2. Needs a straw hanging out of his mouth and a straw hat. We don't have straw hats yet, but... corncob pipe. I don't smoke anymore, but since I've grown tobacco and it's now drying, I kind of want to have a pipe just so I could have an excuse to check out the tobacco I grew. Yeah, I grew of the 8 plants I started last year, 2 survived, and they were still small enough when the winter hit that I brought them indoors and grew them in the windowsill over winter. And then, and now I've got new ones starting earlier this year. They're really pretty, so it's nice. Also, it's kind of cool the idea that, you know, I've learned how to grow something that tons of people want if it was ever in short supply, so that's kind of cool. My great and great grandfathers were tobacco farmers in Ohio. So, on one hand, this blue is pretty dark and so it looks purple on the robe, but the saturation's kind of nice. I like it. And then if I look at the brown on the... I think these are just the old Marie pieces that were then grayscaled. Man, like, all of this just looks so clean. The detail on the brown stuff in the belt. VGFX. So this feels crisp. This is nice. It just I was mentioning this to Zukin as well. This top here is like blown out a bit. May have been mentioning it to you as well. So it's like if this brown was a richer brown for the shirt, then chef's kiss. All right, so farmer looking tight. I like that design. We'll carry that over to some other farm stuff. But like the richness that we're seeing in a lot of the other stuff, it's really nice. It's coming together. Yeah, I know you guys are still. As I say it, it's strictly me. Just I'm on stream. I've got I talk for 3 hours, and so I'm just doing a lot of this shit. Blah blah blah. I figured I'd just say that again, and then. But I know you guys are going to be still tweaking and all that. Say kill the watchman for the heck of it? No. Too mean. What do you think I am? A necromancer? If I don't start the coffee soon, though, then I'm not going to be able to have the coffee. Because then it'll be too late. It'll be 5 o'clock. Speaking of necromancers, I've got a necromancer guild that I could be dressing up. Black and gold necro robe. All right. Speaking of, let's run over there. Harvest the Watchman's bones. Bones all cap. Mortis Sirius 88. I would not expect that kind of talk from you. Rip the Necromancers. They can get naked in their own time. Black and pink rose. I like black and pink as a color combo. Very late 90s. Early 2000s. A black and blue robe, but it looks white and gold sometimes. That's funny. Damn, I think the trainee just got eaten. Everett Graves, I presume? Let's get you dressed up, Mr. Graves. That'll be the title of this VOD. Like, what did we do during this VOD? We put clothes on naked NPCs. That shows the trainee to become more powerful in his next life. Fan art, that trainee is going to be roaming around as a skeleton and waiting on you guys when you get in. Everett Graves. No beard, no hair. We'll fix that. People in PUBG love to play tunes in their underwear. It's to show you how badass they are. Everett Graves is not at all creepy. Got red cloth here. late 04 red author 1. Ever looking like you just woke up about to make some hash browns and eggs for breakfast? Do you think he's wearing his nightie? What? That's not the look we're going for. Looking at these names, perhaps a suggestion. Give the NPCs names based on their lineage or background. Not sure how much of the lore city's been hatched out yet. Do you think that's not what happened here? Chaos? Listen, buddy, I need you to equip your damn shoes properly. There we go. That's better. Be cool if he had a red tattoo that made him look like he was bleeding out of his eyes. That's pretty intense. We're actually going to give him his girlfriend's name over his eyebrow. And then he's going to get a tattoo of like lipstick kissy lips on his neck. Hey, Draghouse. What's up? Tear tattoos for all the souls he's devoured? No, he'll have little skulls. No regrets on his chest. Hell yeah, Borstag's already looking pretty dope. Not sure how that happened. Let's look him up. Everett sounds like went through some stuff in the 90s. Man, in the 90s, we were not all about the face tattoos. Now we're definitely... Little Timmy's first tattoo, just straight up on the face. I've seen young people with face tattoos, neck tattoos, hand tattoos, and no tattoos anywhere else. Buckmar. Buckmar. Concourse of Souls. Oh well. Dude really doesn't like male deer? I get it now. We don't have any control over the eyes at the moment. This is only happening because we're in the process of updating our character art pipeline. So Chaos Flux, I'd have to look him up. I didn't put him in. Let me look up Necro. There we go. How is this guy already in a robe? So his one texture, his chest texture is actually robe 01. And then he's got plate 02 for his texture slot 4, which I actually don't know what that slot's supposed to be. Yeah, he's got the robe in his shirt slot. So we've got it would be nice in the setting up armor values page in Confluence, at the bottom of all the information that Zukin put in there, I've got like a key for NPC database textures. And the only ones that I've figured out so far, based on a new system, because they've kind of switched, I think, is texture 2 is supposed to be chest, texture 3 is legs, texture 7 is wrist, texture 8 boots and feet, though I might have just been seeing wrists being populated because of boots and feet. So, and then texture 9 is belt. And this just happens to be in texture 4 slot. Will turtlenecks be a thing? Maybe. And so that's what he looks like when I removed the plate from slot 4. Pants and wrist combined. Boot, belt, gloves are combined. That's not how they're acting in the database at the moment. I can assign different boots and belts. So like I just did that with what about sweater vests? Potentially. We have halflings. Not belt, sorry, pants. Everything should work except bracers and belt. Belt works though. Oh, not belt, sorry, pants. Ah, okay. Bracers and pants. Yeah. I mean, pants work, they just happen to bring bracers with them. So I guess if you're wearing a robe and I wanted you to have bracers, we could just give you pants. Hey, Fat Matt. What's going on, buddy? How's the spaghetti treating you today? And then we've got we can look at the other robes. May have to do Robo 3 on some of the cultists then. So we'll do Robo 3. And it's got 2 values, doesn't it? Did I not click off? What's going on here? The red sash is a separate layer, Chaos Flux. Huh. Okay. Oh, it's because I'm over on Buckmar now. I'm a dummy. Like, why isn't he updating? Because I moved to a different NPC. We'll look at the experiment on Buckmar real quick. If he doesn't have anything else, then it winds up looking a bit bathrobe-y. Let's give him some... Let's give him some legs. Yeah, I can put somebody in the bathhouse now with the robe on. I can make him look pretty hardcore. We'll give him plate. A terry cloth. That's not something I hear very often. Nope, with this setup he still feels a little too casual. Terry cloth isn't intentionally the most uncomfortable type of cloth, right? Is it? I thought terry cloth was very soft for some reason. Yeah, terry cloth is super soft. You're thinking of burlap, maybe? Cloth. 1. You're thinking of burlap. Yes, that is definitely, it's more industrial than I think it's meant to be. There we go. Now he's clothed. Incidentally named after Terry Burlap. Real jerk. Wouldn't it be a bummer to be that guy in history? It's like you trace back your lineage and it goes all the way back to like the first words, the first like use of la douche. It's like my great grandfather Jeremiah LaDouche. That's that's why they started calling everybody douches. Actually, I don't know French. That may actually just be something super innocuous. Johnny Dung. Yep. It's funny because I've been watching some of the terminology or words that we use when I'm writing for the game. And so I crack open Gary Gygax's old old city book. And within like 2 pages, he's already calling somebody like a shithead or something. I'm like, what? If Gary could call somebody a shithead in fantasy, Robert Sodomy? Oh, man. Necromancer spell merchant. Get with the program. Etymology is pretty cool, though. John, are you Canadian? Nova Scotia? Aha. That explains a few things. Ketchy Shubi said, have you seen the classic SNL episode where they have a group of characters with names like Douchebag and Sandwich? No, but it made me remember the, was it like the 2004 election, South Park or whatever, where you had to vote between a douchebag and a shit sandwich? Oh, South Park. Let's see. Look the guy up that we just did, and I'll just use him as a reference. Get these guys in line really quick. Delete that, no longer needed. Delete that, it's no longer needed. Peter Plague. Uh-oh. What if that's how it really worked? Oh, man. Plate 04. Brown. Leather 01. Blue cloth 01. Alright. It should be good. We'll reload again. Kinji, that actually makes a lot of sense. Especially if you speak German as well. Very chill part of Canada. It's funny, I imagine all of Canada to be chill, always. The idea that there's an even more chill part of Canada is pretty wild. Like that it's somehow even more chill. But after living in Sweden, I think I could appreciate living in Canada. Shadow Knight, Spell Merchant. What if he was just kind of happy looking? You speak German? Maybe because you're from Germany? Kinji, did we discuss what part of Germany you're from? Woher bist du? Nordheim, Nordrhein-Westfalen. But that's a region, right? That's not a city. Casimo MK said, woohoo, hello from Dresden. North Rhine-Westphalia. What? I thought that was a region, not a place. Damn it, I'm looking it up right now. Dresden, okay, I was like, I don't know Dresden. Near Cologne. Oh, my wife's family's from Cologne. We go to Cologne for all sorts of holidays where we want to eat and drink a lot of beer. North Rhine-Westphalia. It's a state, Bundesland, yeah. That's what I thought. But it's not a city. Okay. Well, that makes more sense. I don't know where that is, but it makes more sense now. Casimo, welcome. Excuse me. Shadow Knight Spell Merchant. Zero. No one knows the city more, so I just say, no, I'm next to Cologne. That makes sense. That's fair. Kesmo said, howdy, watch stream for a while already? Still playing P99, can't wait for Eminem. Nice. Well, thank you for the follow. Glad you're here. Danky Shane, as the song says. Danky Shane, darling, Danky Shane. Can't wait for NPCs to get a real name and Shadow Knight spell merchant becomes a Shad Knight merchant. How did you know? How did you know? Have you hacked us? You got the design doc? If you played here, I'll do this. If you played Evercraft Online and you killed the rare rat, then you would get our design document. It drops off of Think. Black cloth 01. Dankeschön, darling, Dankeschön. I'm gonna sing that to my wife tonight when she gets home. Shadow Knight is from a huge spell merchant family. It's Shadow Knight the Third. His papa's pride and joy. What? Rooney's? Do you have a watch? How do you know the time so well, buddy? He knows the time all the time. He knows exactly when it is 5 o'clock. He's a very smart puppy. Oh, don't worry about the side convo. It's great. I look up and you guys are having a side convo. I'm like, that's wonderful. They're entertaining themselves. Dogs are so good at patterns. Yeah, that's why they're so bad if you don't do the patterns. You got to keep up the patterns or they don't learn. They get confused. He's like, oh, was I not supposed to bite somebody? Well, you screwed up the pattern, Dad. So that's why I had the chompers. Is it a husky? No, he's a mini husky. He's a Alaskan Kleekai. He is like a husky, but small. S-M-O-L is how that's spelled now, I guess, according to the internet. He's a super cutie. He's smaller than he looks on camera. Because, I mean, my hand is clearly not that ginormous. So, his little tiny husky face. Does he shed bad in Germany? Yeah. But it doesn't matter. The previous puppy I had, Ziggy, was from the US, and so his shedding was a bit different, but little man here is from Moscow. He's a pre-invasion puppy, so we were still able to get him. Had a dog named Ziggy as well. Yeah, Ziggy is awesome. Ziggy was my bud for a very long time. And when he passed away, then we got this guy. Ziggy had one blue eye and one brown eye. This little dude's got 2 blue eyes, if he ever looks up. All right, guys. So it's 5:01. Puppy wants me to take him out. And then I'll start dinner after that. Yeah, lots of brushing. Fortunately, Jasmine does that. But I'm going to wrap up. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you on Tuesday. And keep an eye on our Discord. Holy crap, there's fur all over my desk now. Keep an eye on the Discord. Over the weekend, we're going to have a little update for you. So definitely keep an eye out. And yeah. So, Team Nova, I'm glad now you know. Peace, Mantis Boxer, Kimry. Thank you. You have a great day as well. MMO Pug, see you. You're like one of the first in, one of the last out. That's cool to see. Kinji. Tschüss, mein Freund. Isan. See you, brother. Level 1 Undercon. You enjoy your weekend as well. Chaz Solo. Another one of those early in, laid out folks. I appreciate that. Chaos Flux. Just keep an eye on Discord and we'll get you some information soon. See you on Tuesday, Justin Beard, but I'll probably see you in Discord before then. I still gotta watch the music video that you posted. It looked pretty interesting though. John, you're welcome. Thanks for being here. Probably see you in Discord as well. Chucklar, goodbye. Wacky God said no. I guess we're not leaving then. Nalderstorm, thank you. Have a good one. August Burnsville, have a great one. Congrats again on your gift sub. Jamazar, take care. Yeah, Justin, I'm gonna check them out. Did I miss anybody? I feel like I missed somebody up there. Okay, well, if we're wrapped up for today, everybody have a wonderful weekend. I will see you on Tuesday, maybe. Be cool. Join our mailing list. Be sure to be in Discord. Yeah, that's the word. Word. I'm Audi 5000, G.